Olivia Reese loved the night sky. She was a student who studied stars at Berkeley. While other students looked at known stars, Olivia searched for signs of life in space. Her teachers thought she was odd, but she didn't care. One clear night, Olivia sat alone at the big telescope. The campus was quiet. Most students were at parties or sleeping, but not Olivia. She had a feeling that tonight was special. As she moved the telescope to a new area, she saw something strange. A small object was falling toward Earth. It wasn't a meteor. It moved too oddly, slowing down without burning up. Olivia checked her charts. No planes or satellites were supposed to be there. She quickly wrote down where the object might land. It looked like the forest reserve about 20 miles away. Olivia knew she should call someone, but who would believe her? By the time officials arrived, whatever it was might be gone. Olivia grabbed her backpack, stuffing it with a first aid kit, water, snacks, and her phone. She ran to her old car in the parking lot and drove fast toward the forest. The roads were empty at this late hour. Olivia's mind raced with possibilities. Was it a secret military test? A piece of space junk? Or something else? The thought made her heart beat faster. She parked at the forest entrance and checked her notes. The crash site should be about 2 miles in. Olivia turned on her phone's flashlight and began hiking through the trees. The forest was alive with night sounds. Owls hooting, leaves rustling in the breeze. After an hour of careful walking, Olivia smelled something odd, like metal and ozone. She climbed over a fallen tree and gasped. In a small clearing lay something impossible. It was a craft unlike anything human-made. About the size of a small car, it had a smooth, shiny surface that seemed to change color when she looked at it from different angles. Parts of it glowed with soft blue light. One section was damaged, showing a hole in the side. Olivia approached slowly. This was the moment she had dreamed of her whole life. Proof she wasn't crazy to believe in life beyond Earth. Her hands shook as she got closer. From the damaged section, she heard a soft sound, like breathing. Olivia shined her light inside and jumped back in shock. There was someone or something inside. The being looked almost human, but not quite. It was female in shape, with skin that shimmered like pearls. Strange marks covered her body, glowing faintly. Her eyes, when they opened, had up and down pupils like a cat's, set in violet-colored eyes. The alien was hurt. A glowing liquid leaked from a cut in her side. It looked like mercury, but gave off light. The alien pushed herself back when she saw Olivia, raising a hand in what seemed like defense. "I won't hurt you," Olivia said softly, knowing the alien probably couldn't understand her words. She set down her flashlight and raised her empty hands to show she had no weapons. The alien watched her with those strange eyes. Olivia pointed to the first aid kit, then to the alien's wound. She made bandaging motions with her hands. After a moment, the alien's posture relaxed slightly. Olivia moved slowly, opening her kit. She had no idea if human medicine would help, but she had to try. She took out bandages and approached carefully. The alien tensed but allowed Olivia to look at the wound. It was unlike any injury Olivia had seen. The edges glowed, and the liquid seemed to move with a mind of its own. Olivia used water to clean around it, then pressed a clean bandage over it. The alien made a soft hissing sound but didn't pull away. As Olivia worked, the alien studied her face. There was clear intelligence in those eyes. The glowing marks on the alien's skin pulsed in patterns, almost like they were talking. Olivia finished bandaging and sat back. "I wish we could talk," she said. "Are there more of you? Did you come alone?" The alien tilted her head, then slowly raised a hand toward Olivia's face. Olivia stayed still, though her heart pounded. The hand stopped just before touching her, hovering near her temple. Suddenly, Olivia's mind filled with images: stars, planets, a beautiful city made of crystal, ships flying between moons. Then danger, explosions, escape. The images came so fast that Olivia gasped and fell back. Was that you?" she asked in wonder. "Were you showing me your home?" The alien's marks glowed brighter. She tried to stand but was too weak. More of the glowing liquid seeped through the bandage. In the distance, Olivia heard voices and saw flashlights. Someone else had seen the craft fall. Fear gripped her. What would they do to this injured alien? Take her to a lab? Cut her open? The alien saw the lights too. Her marks flashed rapidly and she tried again to get up, looking at her ship with urgency. Olivia made a quick decision. "I'll help you," she said, putting her arm around the alien's waist. Together, they moved toward the ship's entrance. The voices were getting closer. Olivia could hear men calling to each other. Government, military, she didn't want to find out. The alien pressed something on the ship's side and an opening appeared. Olivia helped her inside where strange lights and controls glowed. The alien reached out suddenly and pulled Olivia in too, just as the ship sealed itself shut. Olivia fell onto a soft surface that molded to her body. The alien moved to what must be controls, connecting herself somehow to the ship. Lights flashed around them. Outside, Olivia could hear shouting. Flashlights shone on the craft's surface. The alien looked at Olivia, a question in those strange eyes. Olivia knew she was about to leave everything behind, her studies, her apartment, her few friends. But how could she pass up this chance? To see the stars up close, to learn about a new civilization. Let's go, she said, nodding firmly. The ship hummed to life. The ground fell away beneath them as they rose into the night sky. Olivia watched her world shrink below, becoming a patchwork of lights, then a continent, then a blue marble hanging in space. Her adventure among the stars had begun. Olivia walked through halls made of crystal that seemed alive. The walls glowed softly, changing colors as they passed. Guards with marks like Lyria's led the way. Lyria stayed close to Olivia, sometimes touching her arm to reassure her. They entered a large room with a high ceiling. Light poured in through crystal windows, creating rainbows on the floor. At the far end sat a tall figure on a chair that grew from the floor itself. Queen Zira was like Lyria, but older, with more complex marks covering most of her body. Her eyes were deeper violet, and she wore a simple crown that glowed with the same light as her skin marks. Lyria stepped forward and bowed. She spoke quickly in their musical language, often pointing to Olivia. The queen listened carefully, her expression changing from concern to interest. A guard handed Olivia a small device like the one from before. "This will help you understand," he said in English. Olivia put it in her ear as the queen began to speak. The device translated her words. "Human Olivia Reese," the queen said. "My daughter tells me you saved her life when her ship crashed on your world. You helped her escape those who wish her harm, and you showed great skill in piloting our vessel. These are not small things." "I just did what anyone would do," Olivia said, hoping the device was translating her words correctly. The queen made a sound like gentle bells. Olivia realized she was laughing. "No, young one. Most would have run in fear or called their authorities. You acted with courage and compassion for a being not of your kind. This is rare and precious," Lyria spoke again, and the queen nodded. "My daughter wishes you to know that she would have died without your help. The Voidborn would have found her, and their victory would have been certain." "The Voidborn," Olivia said. "Lyria showed me they're led by your brother?" "My brother Corvus, yes," the queen confirmed. "He believes our people should rule alone, that other species are beneath us. He has fought against my policies of peace for many years. When he learned I sent Lyria on a diplomatic mission, he saw a chance to strike." A door opened and several Astrolari rushed in. They spoke urgently to the queen, who stood up quickly. "What's happening?" Olivia asked Lyria. The translator in her ear spoke. "The Voidborn have followed us. They have entered the system and are approaching our moon." Guards moved around them, taking up positions. The queen gave orders, her voice firm. Lyria touched Olivia's arm, looking worried. "You should rest and recover, princess," one of the advisors said to Lyria. "The human too must be tired from their journey." The queen nodded. "Yes, take them to the royal quarters. Double the guards. I will meet with the Defense Council." As they were led away, Olivia saw screens showing ships moving toward the moon. They looked bigger and more dangerous than the ones that had chased them earlier. Lyria and Olivia were taken to a beautiful room high in the crystal tower. The walls looked out over the city, which sparkled like diamonds in the light of the ringed planet above. Food and drinks were brought, strange but delicious. "Will we be safe here?" Olivia asked. Lyria touched the translator at her own throat. "Our city has strong shields. The Voidborn cannot break them easily, but they are persistent. Why do they hate other species so much?" Lyria sat beside Olivia on a couch that molded to their bodies. "Long ago, the Astrolari were nearly destroyed by another race. Only a few survived. My ancestors rebuilt our civilization, vowing never to be vulnerable again. Some, like my uncle, believe this means we should conquer or avoid all other species. My mother believes we should make allies instead. And where do I fit in all this?" Olivia asked. Lyria's marks glowed brighter. "You have become important, Olivia Reese. By saving me, you proved my mother's belief that other species can be worthy allies. The news of a human helping the princess has spread through our worlds. You are becoming a symbol. I'm just a student who likes stars, Olivia said, feeling overwhelmed. You are more, Lyria insisted. And according to our oldest laws, one who saves royal blood in danger becomes bloodkin to the royal family. Olivia blinked in surprise. What does that mean? It means, said a new voice, that you are to become part of the royal line. They turned to see the queen entering the room. She had changed into simpler clothes, but her presence was still commanding. Your Majesty, Olivia said, standing quickly. Please sit, the queen said, joining them. The Defense Council is preparing, but I wanted to explain this to you myself. The queen touched a panel on the wall. A section opened, revealing a small glowing container. Our laws are ancient and sacred, she explained. When one not of royal blood saves a royal in peril, risking their own life, they may be adopted into the family. This tradition ensures that courage and compassion are valued as highly as birth. But I'm not even Astrolari, Olivia said. That makes it even more significant, the queen replied. No non-Astrolari has ever been offered this honor. But these are unusual times and your actions were extraordinary. What would it mean? What would happen to me? The queen opened the container, revealing a small amount of glowing liquid, like what had leaked from Lyria's wound. This is royal blood, containing what you might call nanites. If you accept, you would receive a small amount. It would change you slightly, giving you a simplified royal mark, extending your life, allowing you to use some of our technology. You would not become Astrolari, but you would be recognized throughout our dominion as royal kin. Olivia looked at Lyria, who watched her with hope in those strange eyes. Would I have to stay here forever? Olivia asked. I left Earth so suddenly. My family, my studies? No, the queen said. Once the Voidborn threat is handled, you could return to Earth if you wish. But you would always have a place here. And perhaps you could help build a bridge between our worlds. Before Olivia could respond, alarms sounded throughout the palace. A guard rushed in, Your Majesty.
The Voidborn have breached the outer defenses.
They are targeting the royal tower directly. The room shook as something hit the shields around the tower. Get Princess Lyria and the human to the safe room, the queen ordered. I must join the Defense Council. As guards moved to escort them, Lyria grabbed Olivia's hand. Stay with me, she said through the translator. Whatever happens, we face it together. Olivia squeezed Lyria's hand as they hurried through the crystal halls. Outside the windows, she could see ships firing at the city shields, which flashed with each impact. They descended in what felt like a living elevator, deep below the palace. The safe room was a large space with screens showing the battle above. Other Astrolari were there, children, elders, and injured. Your Highness, said an older Astrolari, bowing to Lyria. The Voidborn attack is larger than we expected. They have brought the stellar destabilizer. Lyria's marks flashed with alarm. She spoke rapidly to the elder, who looked shocked. What's a stellar destabilizer? Olivia asked. Lyria turned to her, face grim. A weapon that can destroy a star or a moon. My uncle threatens to use it if my mother does not surrender. He would destroy his own people? He believes he can force an evacuation of his supporters first. But more importantly, Lyria hesitated. He has also targeted your world, Earth? Olivia gasped. Why? To destroy the planet that produced the human who helped strengthen my mother's misguided policies, Lyria explained. Earth has become a symbol in a war it doesn't even know exists. Olivia felt sick. Her home, her family, everyone she knew, all threatened because she helped Lyria. We have to stop him, she said. There must be something we can do. Lyria was quiet for a moment, her marks pulsing in complex patterns. Then she looked at Olivia with determination. There might be, but it would be dangerous and we would have to leave this safe room. I'm listening, Olivia said. My uncle commands from his flagship. The stellar destabilizer is there. If we could reach it, Lyria didn't finish the thought. How? We're just two people. Lyria touched a panel on the wall, revealing a hidden door. I have friends among the guard. With their help, we might reach a small ship. And then what? Attack the flagship directly? Not attack, Lyria said. Infiltrate. You connected with our scout ship systems easily. The destabilizer uses similar technology. Perhaps you could redirect it. The plan was crazy, impossible, suicidal even. But Olivia thought of Earth, hanging in space, unaware of the danger. She thought of her parents, her friends, the 7 billion people who would never know what hit them. Okay, she said. Let's do it. Lyria smiled, her marks glowing brighter. I hoped you would say that. Come, we don't have much time. They slipped through the hidden door as another explosion shook the palace above them. 2 guards waited on the other side. One of them, the female guard who had translated for Olivia earlier. Niara, Lyria greeted her. You got my message. Yes, Princess, Niara replied. But this plan is very dangerous. The Queen would not approve. The Queen is busy trying to save our world, Lyria said. We will try to save both worlds. Niara nodded reluctantly. The royal fighter bay is this way. We must hurry. As they moved through secret passages, Olivia realized how much trust Lyria was placing in her. The fate of 2 worlds now rested partly in her hands. The hands of a human student who, just days ago, had been looking at stars through a telescope, dreaming of finding life beyond Earth. Life had found her instead, and now she had to save it. Niara led them through narrow passages that glowed faintly. These were old tunnels, Lyria explained, built when the palace was first grown. Few knew about them now. They reached a small hangar where sleek ships waited. Unlike the scout vessel Olivia had flown before, these were clearly built for fighting. Their shapes were sharper, more aggressive. These are Royal Guard fighters, Niara said. Fast and well-armed, but small enough to avoid detection if we're careful. 5 more guards waited by the ships. They bowed when they saw Lyria. Princess, one said, we are ready to follow you, but this mission is extremely dangerous. The Voidborn fleet surrounds us. I know the risks, Kalor, Lyria replied. That is why I ask, not order. You may stay if you wish. None of the guards moved. Niara smiled. We are with you, Princess. Lyria turned to Olivia. Are you still certain? There is no shame in staying safe here. Olivia thought of Earth, her home, in danger because of her actions. I'm going, she said firmly. They boarded 2 ships. Olivia went with Lyria and Niara, while the other 5 guards took the second ship. The inside was cramped but efficient. Niara took the pilot's seat with Lyria beside her. Olivia sat behind them, strapping into a seat that adjusted to fit her human form. The plan is simple but dangerous, Niara explained as she activated the ship's systems. We wait for a gap in the fighting, then make a run for Corvus's flagship. The larger vessel has hangar bays for its own fighters. We'll use the confusion of battle to slip inside. And once we're in? Olivia asked. I know where the stellar destabilizer control room will be, Lyria said. My uncle is predictable in some ways. He always places key systems near his command center. The hangar doors opened, revealing chaos outside. Ships fired at each other, lighting up the sky with energy beams. The city's shields flashed as they absorbed hits. Ready? Niara asked. Lyria and Olivia nodded. Then may the ancient light guide us, Niara said, a prayer in her voice. The ships shot from the hangar, immediately diving low to avoid detection. Niara was an expert pilot, weaving through the battle without drawing attention. The second ship followed close behind. Through the viewport, Olivia saw the full scale of the attack. Dozens of Voidborn ships fought against the city's defenders. In the distance loomed a massive vessel, at least 10 times larger than the others. That's my uncle's flagship, Lyria said, following Olivia's gaze. The Voidhammer, the name fit. The ship looked like a giant hammer, its head bristling with weapons, its handle containing engines that glowed with dark energy. That's where the destabilizer is? Olivia asked. Yes, Lyria confirmed. In the head section near the command deck. They flew along the moon's surface using the terrain for cover. Occasionally, stray shots from the battle above would hit nearby, sending up sprays of crystal dust. We're approaching the battle zone, Niara warned. From here, we'll have to move fast and hope we're not noticed. She touched a control and the ship accelerated sharply. They shot upward into the midst of the fighting. Explosions flashed around them. Larger ships exchanged fire overhead. A voice came through the communicator, one of the guards in the other ship. 3 Voidborn fighters on our tail. Olivia looked back and saw the second ship taking fire. One hit caught its wing, sending it spinning. Kalor, Niara called. Status. Still flying, came the strained reply. But we're damaged. We'll draw them away. You get the princess to the flagship. Before Lyria could protest, the second ship veered off, the 3 Voidborn fighters following. We can't leave them, Lyria said. We must complete the mission, Princess, Niara replied grimly. They know what they're doing. They watched as the second ship led its pursuers away, firing back even as it took more hits. Look ahead, Olivia said, pointing. The flagship's hangar is open. Indeed, a large bay in the side of the Void Hammer was active, with fighters coming and going. Nyara adjusted their course, approaching from below where the battle was less intense. "I'll need to time this perfectly," she said. "When I say now, activate the royal beacon, Princess." Lyria nodded, her hand hovering over a control. They flew closer, using the chaos of battle as cover. When they were just half a mile from the hangar, Nyara shouted, "Now!" Lyria pressed the control. The ship emitted a signal that made its markings change pattern. Now it looked like a Voidborn fighter returning to base. "Hold tight," Nyara said, guiding them toward the hangar. "This is where we find out if they're paying attention." The tense seconds stretched as they approached. Would they be shot down? Questioned. But the battle outside was so chaotic that one more fighter returning didn't draw notice. They slipped into the hangar among other ships. Nyara found an empty spot and landed smoothly. Around them, Voidborn crew worked on damaged fighters, paying little attention to new arrivals. "We need to move quickly," Lyria said. "Nyara, you wear armor. You'll draw less attention. Lead the way." Nyara nodded, checking her weapon, a short staff that glowed at one end. "Stay close and try to look like prisoners if we're seen." They left the ship, keeping to shadows when possible. The hangar was busy enough that 3 more figures didn't stand out immediately. Lyria guided them through service corridors, avoiding main passages. Twice they had to hide as Voidborn soldiers passed. Olivia's heart pounded so hard she was sure it would give them away. "The command deck is 3 levels up," Lyria whispered. "We need to find a lift tube." They found one at the end of a corridor. Nyara checked that it was clear, then motioned them inside. The tube worked differently from elevators on Earth. It had no cables, instead using some kind of anti-gravity field that made Olivia's stomach flutter as they rose. The doors opened onto a quieter level. This area had better lighting and more elaborate designs on the walls, clearly for higher-ranking Voidborn. "The command deck should be this way," Lyria said, pointing left. They moved carefully, checking each intersection before proceeding. They were nearly at the command deck when voices approached from around a corner. "Hide," Nyara hissed, pulling them into an alcove. They pressed against the wall as 2 Voidborn officers walked past, discussing battle reports. Olivia hardly dared breathe until they were gone. "That was close," she whispered. They continued on, finally reaching a secured door. A control panel glowed beside it. "This is it," Lyria said. "The command center. The destabilizer controls will be inside." "How do we get in?" Olivia asked. "Won't it need some kind of key or code?" Lyria smiled grimly. "Royal blood has its uses." She pressed her palm to the panel. Her skin marks glowed brighter, and the panel responded with a similar glow. "My uncle never removed my access," she explained. "He always believed I would join him eventually." The door slid open. Inside was a large circular room with screens showing the battle outside. In the center stood a raised platform with a chair, empty for now. Officers worked at stations around the edges. "There," Lyria pointed to a separate station with a distinctive red glow. "The destabilizer controls." "But there are at least 10 people in there," Olivia whispered. "How do we—" A new alarm sounded. One of the officers called out, "All personnel to battle stations! The royal forces are attempting to breach our lower decks." Most of the crew rushed from the room, leaving only 2 at their stations. One was by the destabilizer controls. "This is our chance," Nyara said. She stepped into the room, her staff ready. The remaining officers looked up in surprise. Before they could react, Nyara fired her weapon. It released energy that knocked both officers unconscious without killing them. "Quickly," Lyria said, rushing to the destabilizer controls. "Olivia, this is like the ship interface, but more complex. You'll need to connect with it." Olivia sat at the station. Instead of normal controls, it had a neural interface helmet like the one in the scout ship. "What do I do once I'm connected?" she asked. "Find the targeting systems," Lyria explained. "My uncle has likely aimed it at both our moon and Earth. You need to change that." "Change it to what?" Lyria hesitated. "I don't want to destroy anyone. But we need to disable the Voidborn fleet." Nyara, watching the door, suddenly tensed. "Someone's coming!" The main door opened and a tall Astrolari entered. His marks were elaborate but darker than Lyria's, with sharp edges instead of flowing lines. He wore armor with symbols of rank and carried a staff longer than Nyara's. "Lyria," he said, his voice deep and cold. "How disappointing to find you here with a traitor guard and—" "Is that the human I've heard so much about?" "Uncle Corvus," Lyria replied, moving to stand between him and Olivia. "Stop this attack." You're endangering our people, Corvus laughed. Our people will be stronger for this. The weak will fall, the strong will survive. That is the natural order. There's nothing natural about destroying worlds, Lyria argued. Those who stand in the way of evolution must be removed, Corvus said. Your human pet's world has become a symbol of your mother's weakness. When it is gone, our people will see the truth. More Voidborn soldiers entered behind Corvus, weapons ready. Take them, Corvus ordered. But don't kill them yet. I want them to witness our victory. As the soldiers moved forward, Nyara attacked, her staff a blur of motion and light. She took down 2 before the others could react. Lyria joined her, revealing unexpected fighting skill. Olivia now, Lyria shouted. Connect to the system. 1 week after the battle, Olivia stood in a room of the royal palace looking at herself in a mirror that wasn't really a mirror. It showed not just her reflection but seemed to reveal something deeper, something about her essence. She wore clothes the Astrolari had made for her. The fabric changed colors slightly as she moved, responding to her emotions. Right now it shifted between blue and purple, showing her mix of excitement and nervousness. Are you ready? Lyria asked, entering the room. The princess looked fully recovered now. Her marks glowed with health and happiness. I think so, Olivia replied, though I'm not sure what to expect. The ceremony is ancient, Lyria explained, adjusting Olivia's collar. But the meaning is simple. You will become family. Nyara appeared at the door. Her arm was still healing, but she insisted on being part of the honor guard. It's time, princess, she said. The queen and the court are waiting. They walked through crystal hallways that Olivia was starting to recognize. In just a week, the palace had begun to feel less alien. She had learned more of their language, though she still relied on the translator device. She had met many Astrolari who treated her with respect and curiosity rather than fear. The news of what happened on the flagship had spread quickly. The human who changed the destabilizer to spare lives rather than take them was a story told throughout the city. Olivia found it strange to be known for something she had done in a moment of desperate inspiration. They reached the Grand Hall of Light, the largest room in the palace. Sunlight streamed through crystal walls, creating rainbows that danced across the floor. Hundreds of Astrolari stood in a circle, their marks glowing in greeting. In the center waited Queen Zira, holding a small glowing container. Lyria led Olivia to the center of the circle. The gathered Astrolari hummed a note that resonated through the hall, a sound of welcome and celebration. People of the Astrolari Dominion. The Queen's voice carried easily through the large space. We gathered today for a ceremony not performed in many generations. The adoption of a non-Astrolari into the royal line. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, but they sounded approving rather than concerned. Olivia Reese of Earth, the Queen continued, saved Princess Lyria's life at risk to her own. She helped defeat those who threatened both our worlds. According to our oldest laws, such actions make her worthy of becoming family. The Queen opened the container, revealing the glowing substance inside, royal blood with its nanites. This ceremony will change you, the Queen told Olivia. You will gain a royal mark, though simpler than ours. Your life will be extended. You will have limited access to our technology. Are you prepared for these changes? Olivia took a deep breath. I am. Then approach, the Queen said. Olivia stepped forward. The Queen dipped her finger in the glowing liquid, then traced a pattern on Olivia's left wrist and up her arm. The substance felt cool at first, then warm. It seemed to sink into her skin, disappearing from view. With this mark, I welcome you, Olivia Reese, into the royal line of the Astrolari, the Queen said formally. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Olivia felt a tingling in her arm. Where the Queen had drawn, her skin began to glow with a soft blue light. The pattern was simpler than Lyria's or the Queen's, but it was unmistakably Astrolari. The gathered crowd hummed again, louder this time. Lyria stepped forward and took Olivia's hand, raising it for all to see. The mark glowed brighter at Lyria's touch. Family, Lyria said simply. Family, the crowd echoed. Olivia felt tears in her eyes. She had come so far from that night at the telescope. In just over a week, she had left her world, saved a princess, helped end a rebellion, and now had been adopted into an alien royal family. It was overwhelming. The formal ceremony ended and the gathering became more like a celebration. Astrolari came to greet Olivia, many touching her new mark gently in welcome. Food and drinks were served, strange but delicious. Later, Olivia stood with Lyria and the Queen on a balcony overlooking the city. "What happens now?" Olivia asked. "I never planned to leave Earth forever. My parents, they don't even know where I am." The Queen nodded, understanding. "We have discussed this, Olivia. While we are not ready to reveal ourselves fully to Earth, which we believe needs more time to mature as a species, we can establish a secret connection." "What kind of connection?" Olivia asked. "You will serve as our first ambassador," Lyria explained excitedly. "Moving between worlds, we can provide a ship that will take you home in just days, rather than the years your human technology would require." "And what would I tell people? Where I've been? How I travel?" "For now that will remain your secret," the Queen said. "But we will establish a small academy on one of our lesser moons. You may select a few humans, those you trust, those with open minds, to join you there. They will learn our science and share human knowledge in return." "A cultural exchange," Olivia said, understanding. "Preparing both sides for eventual open contact." "Exactly," the Queen confirmed. "It may take generations, but one day our peoples will meet openly. You are the first bridge between our worlds, and I will be your counterpart," Lyria added, "the Astrolari ambassador to Earth. I will visit secretly at first, learning about your world." Olivia imagined showing Lyria her home, the oceans, the mountains, the cities, teaching her about human music, art, food. The idea filled her with joy. "There is something else you should know," the Queen said more seriously. "The Voidborn rebellion is weakened but not destroyed. Some still follow my brother's beliefs. They will see you as a threat, a symbol of what they oppose." "I understand the risk," Olivia said, "but I think it's worth it." The Queen smiled. "I believe so too." That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She went to the highest tower of the palace where a balcony offered a view of the stars. Earth was visible as a tiny blue dot, impossibly far yet somehow closer than ever before. She heard footsteps and turned to see Lyria joining her. "Thinking of home?" Lyria asked. "Yes," Olivia admitted. "But also thinking of here, of everything that's happened." Lyria stood beside her, looking at the stars. "Our people have a tradition. The royal family must always remember where they came from. For thousands of years we have looked to our original homeworld, now long dead." She pointed to a faint star. "That was once our sun. Our planet is gone, destroyed in a war long ago. That's why some, like my uncle, fear other species. They remember only the pain of the past." "And what do you remember?" Olivia asked. "I choose to remember that we survived. We found a new home. We rebuilt." Lyria turned to Olivia. "And now, because of you, we have a new world to remember as well." She gestured to Earth's distant point of light. "Your world has given us hope. A new beginning?" Olivia looked at her new mark glowing softly in the darkness. It pulsed in time with her heartbeat, a constant reminder of her connection to this place, these people. "When will we leave for Earth?" she asked. "In 2 days," Lyria replied. "A ship is being prepared. It will be faster and more comfortable than the scout vessel you first flew." "My parents are going to have so many questions," Olivia said with a small laugh. "We don't have to tell them everything at once," Lyria suggested. "Perhaps just that you met someone from another country, someone who cares for you very much." The way Lyria said it made Olivia look at her more closely. There was something in her voice and the way her marks glowed that suggested deeper feelings. "You know," Olivia said, "on Earth, royal families often used marriage to form alliances between kingdoms." Lyria's marks pulsed brighter. "We had similar practices long ago, though now our bonds are formed by choice, not duty." "And what would you choose?" Olivia asked softly. Lyria took Olivia's hand, their marks glowing in harmony. "I would choose a bridge between stars, a family across worlds. Above them, the great ringed planet filled half the sky, its light bathing them in a silver glow. Around them, the crystal city hummed with life and possibility. I think," Olivia said, "that I would choose the same." In the days that followed, preparations were made for their journey to Earth. The ship was readied, a beautiful vessel designed for diplomatic missions rather than combat or exploration. Olivia learned more about the academy the Queen planned to establish. It would start small, perhaps 5 or 6 humans at first, carefully chosen. Scientists, artists, philosophers with open minds and kind hearts, people who could help prepare humanity for the knowledge that they were not alone in the universe. On the day of departure, Olivia stood with Lyria at the ship's entrance. The Queen and court had gathered to see them off. "Remember," the Queen told them, "this is just the beginning. Move carefully. Build trust slowly. The future of both our peoples may depend on the bridges you build." "We understand, Mother," Lyria said. "We will be worthy of your trust." Olivia touched her mark, which had become a familiar comfort. "Thank you for welcoming me into your family. I will honor that gift." The Queen embraced them both. "Safe journey, my daughters." As they boarded the ship, Olivia felt a strange mix of emotions. She was going home, but she was also leaving a home. She was returning to her family, but also leaving family behind. Yet as Lyria took her place beside her, Olivia realized the truth. She wasn't leaving one home for another. She was expanding what home meant, stretching the definition of family across the stars. The ship moved fast through space. Olivia watched Earth become smaller until it was just a blue dot. Her stomach felt strange, but not because of the movement. The ship seemed to have its own gravity. She felt strange because she had just left her home planet with an alien she couldn't even talk to. The alien sat at what looked like controls. Her hands moved over lights that changed color at her touch. The glowing marks on her skin pulsed faster now. She looked better than before, as if the ship itself was helping her heal. Olivia tried to stay calm. "So, I'm Olivia," she said, pointing to herself. "Olivia." She wasn't sure if the alien could hear her through the clear helmet she now wore. The alien looked at her and touched her own chest. "Lyria," she said. Her voice was musical like bells. "Lyria," Olivia repeated, smiling. "Nice to meet you, even if this is the craziest meeting ever." Lyria's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. She pressed something on her suit and the helmet disappeared like magic. Then she touched her head and pointed to Olivia's. "You want to talk to me, like before?" Olivia asked, moving closer. Lyria nodded. She placed her fingers near Olivia's temple without touching her skin. Suddenly, Olivia's mind filled with images again, but slower this time, more controlled. Olivia saw a huge world with rings like Saturn. Around it were many moons. On the biggest moon stood a city that seemed to be made of living crystal. The buildings grew from the ground instead of being built. Bridges made of light connected towers that reached to the sky. Then she saw Lyria, but dressed in beautiful clothes with designs that matched her skin marks. People bowed to her. Olivia understood. Lyria was important, maybe like a princess or leader. Next came scary images, explosions, fighting ships, people with marks like Lyria's but in different patterns. They attacked her, chased her. Lyria had escaped in this small ship, but she was hurt and followed. The last image was of Earth with Lyria's ship falling toward it. Then Olivia herself appeared in the vision, helping Lyria. The feeling of thanks was clear. When the connection broke, Olivia sat down hard on the floor. "You're royalty," she said. "And you're running from rebels, enemies? And you crashed on Earth by accident," Lyria seemed to understand. She nodded, then pointed to a screen that showed what was behind them. 3 shapes were there, moving fast. "Are those the bad guys?" Olivia asked, suddenly afraid. Lyria's face showed worry. She moved back to the controls, but her hand shook. The wound in her side was bleeding again, the glowing liquid seeping through the bandage Olivia had made. The ship shook as something hit it. Alarms made strange sounds. Lyria tried to steer, but she was too weak. She looked at Olivia and then at the controls. "Me?" Olivia asked in shock. "I can't fly a spaceship." Lyria pointed to her head, then to Olivia, then to a strange seat with what looked like a helmet above it. "You want me to connect to the ship?" Olivia asked. "Like you do?" Lyria nodded firmly. Olivia took a deep breath. "Okay, show me how." Lyria helped her sit in the seat. The material felt alive, adjusting to fit Olivia's body perfectly. The helmet lowered over her head. Olivia expected it to touch her, but it stopped just above her skin, glowing softly. "Now what?" Olivia asked. Lyria placed her hand on a panel next to the seat. The ship's lights dimmed, then came back brighter. Suddenly, Olivia's mind expanded. She could feel the ship as if it were part of her body. She could sense its wings, its engines, its sensors. She could see in all directions at once. "Whoa," she gasped. I can feel everything." Lyria made an urgent gesture, pointing to the shapes following them. They were closer now. Olivia thought about moving away, and the ship responded, turning smoothly. She could see they were in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The rocks floated all around them. "The asteroids," Olivia said. "We can use them as cover?" She didn't know how she knew to fly, but somehow the ship translated her thoughts into actions. Olivia guided them between the space rocks, taking sharp turns that would be impossible in any human vehicle. The ship was small and fast, able to fit through gaps the larger enemy ships couldn't. Lyria watched with surprise, then what looked like approval. She moved to another panel and began working on it, occasionally looking at their pursuers. One of the enemy ships tried to follow them through a narrow gap between two large asteroids. It moved too fast and clipped the edge of one. The ship spun out of control and hit another asteroid hard. A bright flash told Olivia it was destroyed. One down, she said. The remaining two ships were still following, but more carefully now. Lyria finished whatever she was doing at the panel. She looked at Olivia and made a gesture like something stretching. "What are you?" Before Olivia could finish, the stars around them seemed to stretch into lines. The ship vibrated, and suddenly they were moving through what looked like a tunnel of rainbow light. It was the most beautiful and terrifying thing Olivia had ever seen. Are we going faster than light?" she whispered. Lyria nodded, looking relieved. She disconnected Olivia from the ship's controls. Without the connection, Olivia felt suddenly smaller, back in her own limited body. "Did we lose them?" she asked. Lyria checked the screens, then nodded. She looked tired, but made a gesture of thanks to Olivia. "You're welcome," Olivia said. "That was incredible. I never knew I could do something like that." Lyria touched her own head, then pointed to Olivia's, nodding with what seemed like respect. "How long until we reach your home?" Olivia asked, pointing ahead of them and making a questioning gesture. Lyria held up 3 fingers. 3 hours, days, Olivia guessed. Lyria pointed to where the sun would rise if they were on Earth. 3 days, Olivia confirmed. She looked around the small ship. "I guess we have time to figure out how to talk better." Over the next 3 days, Lyria and Olivia developed a simple sign language. Lyria also used the mind connection to share more information. Olivia learned that Lyria was indeed a princess, daughter of Queen Zira, who ruled the Astrolari Dominion, a group of worlds around the ringed planet. The people chasing them were called the Voidborn, led by Lyria's uncle Corvus. They believed the Astrolari should rule alone and not talk to other species. They hated that Queen Zira wanted peace with other worlds. Olivia also learned about the ship, which Lyria called a scout vessel. It wasn't meant for fighting, but for exploring. Lyria had used it to escape when the Voidborn attacked her diplomatic ship. On the 3rd day, the rainbow tunnel faded. Stars appeared again, but in different patterns than Olivia knew. Ahead of them was a huge planet with rings, just like in Lyria's vision. Many moons orbited it, and on the largest one, Olivia could see the gleaming crystal city. "It's beautiful," she said. Lyria smiled and pointed to the city, then to herself, then to Olivia. "That's your home," Olivia said. "And you want me to come with you?" Lyria nodded, making a gesture that Olivia had learned meant safe or protected. As they approached the moon, larger ships came to meet them. Lyria sent some kind of message, and the ships escorted them to the city. Olivia watched in wonder as they passed through a shield of light and entered a docking area, inside a massive crystal tower. "What happens now?" Olivia asked as the ship landed softly. Lyria took Olivia's hand and squeezed it gently. She pointed to her wound, which was still not fully healed, then made the sign for thank you that they had established. The ship's door opened. Outside stood several Astrolari in what looked like uniforms or armor. Their marks were similar to Lyria's but less complex. When they saw Lyria, they bowed deeply. Lyria stepped out, still holding Olivia's hand. She spoke to the guards in her musical language. They looked at Olivia with surprise but not anger or fear. One guard stepped forward with a small device. He spoke into it and it translated, "Welcome, human friend of Princess Lyria. The queen wishes to meet the one who saved her daughter." Olivia swallowed hard. She was about to meet an alien queen. "Lead the way," she said, hoping the device could translate her words too. The guard nodded, and together they entered the crystal city, leaving Earth far behind.